Hi everyone. I'm a day late with Chit Chat Tuesday only because my neighbours next door are doing house renovation, and every time I went to film it, they would start jackhammering. They're removing walls and updating their bathrooms and things, so it was just undoable. That's why I did a filming. I just filmed a live thing while I was drawing. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about colour because I had a few people send me some DMs after seeing yesterday's video that I did while I was drawing. They wanted to know things like, do I choose my colors? How do I decide? Do I do a limited color palette or what? Or basically, the way I deal with color is probably breaking all the rules, because I choose colors that I like and I think will work together, or I think, oh, it just needs a touch of green or blue or pop of pink or something. So it's very intuitive and to how I want to have things look. But having said that, I was just thinking a little bit more about this, and I thought, gee, I had all these color chips, paint chips, which I collected over the years, and I have stopped using them for inspiration or just to like see different shades and just to get your eyes like tuned into, wow, their colors and things like that, the possibilities. So I just quickly grabbed some of them to just talk about things. When somebody like people would say, what is your favorite color? I would always say blue, because it was always the color that I loved. And then I used to always use a lot of blue in my artwork. But I started looking at things. This is going back to, say, like 2012, like 10 years, and paintings I did even like 20 years ago. So, and then I was like looking at them and I'm thinking, gee, I use a lot of pink and reds in my, and I looked at my wardrobe and I had nothing in there, no pink clothes, nothing with red on or anything like that. It's all predominantly black and blue, and that's it. And so I thought, that's very interesting, because pink is not a color that I really would say it's my favorite or even associate with myself, yet it is like probably all through my artwork, everywhere, it's always there. Okay, so blues, I've just like these are so good. You can just go to, like, I don't know if you're meant to do this, but I sneak off to Bunnings or the local hardware shop, and I used to gather them there and take a whole pile at once and then go to a different store, so I didn't look like, oh, here's this crazy woman taking all the color swatches and never buying any paint. So blues, there's some gorgeous colors in there. Going on to another color, which when I was reassessing my artworks, I thought, I don't use green. And this was something that came to me in 2015. I thought, I don't have hardly any green in my work. And I found it really, really, really hard at first to get green to work with my art, and also shades of green that I love. Now, I think it's one of my to-go-to sort of like colors that I always add into my work. And I suppose green, I sort of like think as more as a grounding color for me, or tying together. So I've just pulled out a pile of these greens, which are gorgeous, like going from the teals. The teals I sort of use a lot, and it may be because of the fact, because I have like the cabinets here, and it's always in my face. So yeah, that's another reason why I've pulled out these chips, because I'm going to be doing a few mood boards and just put some inspiration boards and just put some color in to try and keep me in that zone of working. Yeah, another color which I do use a lot and always have and I love is, and a particular favorite of mine, is the purples and the mauves and things like that. And it's a funny story, because when I was doing a course or studying, probably doing more for like quilting or something like that back in 2015, you had to submit a portfolio or a range of designs, and there was an industry specialist who would review them. And one of the things that came back to me, because I did all these little designs which I loved at the time, and they all were purple, and they had greens, emerald greens and greens with them in this one little there was about 3 designs in this collection. And the comment was like, oh, well, I can't really see anyone ever choosing to wear green and purple together, and it doesn't really work well. You maybe really have to try and use colors and that. This is like 2015. Hello, fast forward 2020, 21, 22. What are some of the colors of the year? Well, that's why I sort of like, I always think back to that, and I thought sometimes it's good to trust your own your own instincts and your own gut feeling, and just go with making something and doing what you love, because that is your vision. You're not copying, saying, oh, here this color palette, go and make the art in that, or here's the trendy colors, do this, because everybody's going to be using those, because that's what is out there. So you'll just be washed up in the sea of things. So sometimes you can have some of the colors that are there, but you have to put your own spin on it and add some other colors, and just like do something and follow your own instincts and make something you love. Okay, so like, yeah, pinks and peaches and reds and all that, use a lot. It's one of my branding sort of colors, and I suppose it goes, I think it's probably personal, because it sort of balances off with my complexion, because sometimes you put colors next to my skin and I look like, oh, whoa, that doesn't look good, and like, oh, she looks sick, or she looks washed out. So yeah, that's an easy sort of color for me. So that's a personal sort of favorite. Going back to some work, I've been doing like the 100-day challenge, like 100 days. Yeah, it's finished ages ago, probably, I think now, because I take it over a whole year, or I don't give myself a time limit. I just try and finish within a year, preferably around October if I can, before it gets to the sort of like busy end of the year and like all the stuff that goes on there. So I'm up to actually 51 now, so I'm halfway there, which is great. I was actually surprised I had done so many, because I sort of like go through spurts where I'm chopping and changing, doing different things. So when I do that, that is like just painting and drawing for myself, or illustrating something that I love to do, and I try and experiment with a few things and push the boundaries. Now, rewinding, when I did the May month of flowers, we did the rainbow of flowers this year, and one of the color palettes was the neutrals. It was black, white, and tan. And I did 2 pieces. I did actually 4 pieces for that. Two were black and white, and 2 showed all the colors and the ranges there, like those neutrals. And I got a lot of feedback, and people said, well, we really like this, and blah, blah, blah. And it was good. And I was actually in shock, because I looked through my work, I had nothing at all in neutrals and those earthy tones, and that just like really like boho, like, I don't know, pottery, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, those tones. So I've sort of like thinking that I should do more of this work. Yesterday that was one of the intentions when I was doing the drawing, was to actually use some neutral tones, and without putting in like the greens, the yellows, the pops, and just going to my like, wow, this is out there, this is what I want, color pop, yep, this is what I like. And that in the end it did sort of go that way, because I put a few flowers in, and I snuck a bit of pink in, a bit of red, and then that led to a bit of yellow, brighter green, so it sort of got off there. But I do want to try and do like limit myself, and that's another reason why I sort of pulled out these color chips. So I went through it and I found sort of like, oh, that's a blue one, that shouldn't be in there. But anyway, like sort of earthy, more like tertiary colors, grounded colors. So I'm going to try, and for the rest of this week, for as many pieces that I paint or draw, maybe 2 weeks it might have to be, like maybe the next 10 or 20 pieces, really try and work with more neutrals and limited color palettes and tonal pieces. So I'll just show you. That's like how the one I did yesterday turned out. So you can see like here was all the more neutrals, but once I added in up here, it went bright. So then I went around here and down here, so it got a bit popped out. This is like my easy go-to colors, like with all the pinks and the reds and the greens. So that's what I would normally do. I did do last week during the nights, I thought, okay, green, I want to do something, I want to paint or illustrate something that's got greens in it. And I have a bit of a nod to green with these green glasses I bought. So I thought, need something different. I had red glasses for the last 2 years and purple before that. I said, I'm going green. So yeah, literally. So I sort of like did this like greeny one, and I sort of like did this one with like blues and that sort of thing. So that's something that I've been experimenting with myself. Sorry, they're sliding off. Personally, with the 100-day project. So my boundaries about doing work for yourself, or try to do an art challenge, or even if you say, okay, right, this month I'm just going to start, I would like to draw something. It can be very small. It can be maybe one flower or one bird, or, you know, say I'll do 3 drawings a week or something, just so you get in the routine of doing, and limit the time. Try and say, okay, well, just going to see what I can do in 30 minutes or 15 minutes. You might be just waiting for something to cook on the stove or something. Yeah, you might only be able to grab a small section of time. So just sort of there, but the main thing is to always come back and do something. I also have another little sketchbook, which is, it's not even a sketchbook. It was, I sort of wanted something small and pocketable, and I didn't want to sort of like, well, I have to worry about putting perfect artwork in that book and thinking, how embarrassing, I spent this much money on this sketchbook and look at the crap that I have basically drawn. No. So I was going through the attic and we were getting ready. My kids pulled down some books and things like they had for years, and they're like, one was Cleopatra and Anthony, when my youngest, who's now 27, was doing his HSC. That was one of the things that was just like the notes and help you study there. And we're just going to put it on the thing. I thought, no. And so I just started painting gesso over every second page, and I've just used double-sided tape to put them together. So that is just really low cost. It's actually no cost, and it's repurposing a book. And where if things don't go so well, I actually have drawn some nice things in there. If things don't go so well, it doesn't really matter because there's no pressure, and I don't feel like, oh, I've wasted $40 or $50 on this beautiful, hot press, beautiful paper and that, and then be so like, oh no, I can't even show that. That is totally embarrassing. So that's another way that you can start and do this. But for me, my 100-day project was all about just experimenting with flowers and breaking the rules and creating things that I like visually, points of difference. Then 2 weeks ago, because I'm working on these paintings at the same time. I've always got lots of things going on. So I was testing out all these new paintbrushes that I was using. So I've just done these paintings or pieces, like they're like still lifes, but they're all in black and white ink or acrylic paint actually. And just seeing what the brushes will do and the different strokes and lines that I can get within their pieces. So that was like, I sort of did like 1.5 weeks of, so all the stuff is all it's all florals again, but with line work and trying to get signature sort of marks and styles and work through that. Now, as I said, I'm going into trying to think of more like toned down colors, neutrals, tertiaries, blue themes, green themes, earth themes. And then I will sort of like, when I want my head of color, I'm going to go back and do more work on the paintings. Okay. I think that's about everything I wanted to say today. It's sort of like, oh, I do have one more thing. Sorry. I just like, yeah. This might be a bit weird, but always when, I don't know if it's for anyone else, but when I do, I always get my best thought bubbles when I'm having a shower. I don't know what it is, because you're in the shower and everything like that, and you're alone. I think it's like the whole sensory and thinking that, oh, gee, the water's really nice and warm. Do I have to get out? Just let 5 minutes more. Then my mind wanders and I start thinking about things. And one of the things I was thinking about, it's to do with this whole bravery thing and being real and doing these Chit Chat Tuesdays. And something, I don't know, now in the world, we live in a time where there is so many man-made things, so much artificial stuff and synthetic stuff. We're sort of like, everyone's jumping there, but we're forgetting that, I don't know, the realness of who we are. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these. Okay, I'm not showing up in the purposely gorgeous stylized studio that looks like it's come out of Vogue and like it's never been worked in a day of life. This is me. This is who I am. And this is how I show up. So this is like just trying to be real, so that the person that, if you ever met me or happened to talk to me, I'm the same person. It's not like I've gone and had my hair done and my makeup done. I've got these beautiful intros and music and the beautiful studio. I'm a working artist and a busy house, run a business, and that's it. So I'm doing things just to keep myself grounded and really concentrating on original art and real paintings with actual paintbrushes and painters and markers and drawing, and that just embracing and gathering in as much of authenticity and me, and just like honing my skills and always getting enjoyment from doing something that is created from two hands, basically. That's it. Two hands and a whole lot of art materials and mediums. But this is me being what I've done. So that's what I sort of like always base my art about, and everything I chop and change to do different things. But yeah, just keeping it real. Okay, I think that is enough for today. It's very long, I think. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it's 15 minutes. I shouldn't talk too much. Maybe I don't need another coffee today. Anyway, bye. And I'll see you next Tuesday, provided there's no jackhammers next door and I can film. Okay, have fun, everyone. Bye.